There we go.
All right, everyone. Welcome to Nerdcamp Sports. We are back again. I am Mike Williams. Raja Anthony Ali is here as well. R&B will be joining us shortly, and Brandon will be joining us for the NFL section of the show today. How you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm excited. I'm happy today's Sunday. Happy Sunday to everybody. It's been a crazy week, but yeah, man, just ready to rock and roll and talk about the news and updates.
Well, let's not even wait. I want to start with something that hit the wavelength that I seen personally this morning. I didn't see the game, so I can't speak to what happened or what didn't happen. But I guess last night, do you know who the Pistons played last night?
The Pistons. Let me double check. It's funny because I was watching like the highlights, but there's so many games happening last night.
We're getting to that point of the year where there's just so much going on,
Yeah, and they're counting for a lot. The OKC, they pay the Thunder.
Bickerstaff, their head coach, after the game, went off on the referees.
Yes.
Went off. Lost his godforsaken mind. Talking about now he asked them to look at calls. They want to look at them. Talking about how the game was poorly officiated. Talking about how they are fighting to do something good in the league. They're busting their ass, and they're not getting recognized. They're not being looked at. They're not being respected.
Right.
Now, I didn't see the game, so I can't speak for it. But we know what calling out the officials leads to. Fines.
Right.
We know
every time
he's gonna be hitting it, and he's gonna be hitting his pocket.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on once again, officials being called out, and should the league at least look into less fines on coaches and players calling out the officials within reason? Because if something happened, right, and you can see it happened, right, now if you can see it happen, and now like I go on, I'm a coach and I say something, I'm wrong, that's what happened, right?
Yeah, I definitely get it. Well, to kind of like just to give a backdrop to the story, I honestly couldn't watch the game because I don't have League Pass, and I refuse to get League Pass because the NBA needs to fix that. The situation is crazy, but that's a sidebar. But I say that because I feel what JB Bickerstaff is saying. Remember, JB Bickerstaff was a coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe 2 seasons ago or a season ago. And he is actually the reason why the Cleveland Cavaliers are number 1 in the East, because he set up that foundation for that team. Now, keep in mind, Cleveland and Detroit, they're both technically small market teams or mid-market teams. They're not glamorous cities to go to. But they play hard. They find some great draft picks. They find some great free agents, some veterans. And I feel like he is justified of saying the things he says because he understands the landscape of the NBA. And he understands that the big market teams are going to get the calls. They're going to get the fouls because of the big superstars that play on their team. However, on the other side, the NBA has a strict guidelines when it comes down to, pretty much judging officiating. Right. And I get it to a certain degree because some people can be egregious and they can go overboard. They can say too much. But in this case, he's right. He's 100% right. Cade Cunningham is a rising star, and he needs to get the calls like all the rest of the rising stars get, but he doesn't. He gets fouled every time he goes to the lane. And I've witnessed this happen on national games where they play either the Nets or the Knicks or they're on national television. I witnessed Cade Cunningham get like hacked, and they don't even call anything. So it's one of those type of things where it's like we respect the small markets, but we don't give them the leadway of big markets. And
unless they got a big name.
yeah, unless they're like,
like if you got like I would consider SGA a big name.
Right. And that's a good point. Yeah. And like SGA gets the calls because he's an MVP candidate. He's the guy that's like pretty much the lead candidate. Well, he was the lead candidate for a while for the MVP race. But unfortunately, if you're not SGA or if you're not, Nick Jokic in these small market teams, you're not going to get the calls. You're not going to get the calls. But as far as the answer to your question is as if, should they get fined? I don't see the purpose of finding them because they're speaking their mind. They're giving their opinion. They're not
taking freedom of speech away.
Yeah, exactly. And it's wrong because it's like you could say, okay, that ref sucked. But if you don't give a reason why he sucked, then you shouldn't have the NBA fine them.
Right.
Because they got to fix the problem. And the problem is they do not officiate the same all across the board. And we knew about this since the Jordan era. Jordan would get hacked. He'll go to a referee, tell him, you didn't see that call? And they'll say, oh, I'm sorry, Jordan. We'll do it next time. And then they call it for no apparent reason.
They got to make it up to him.
Yeah, they're making it up. And we know they do that to superstars, but the NBA don't want to acknowledge it. So that's my take on it. I just think they go overboard with the fines, and they need to stop it because they did the same thing to Cleveland too. Yeah. Recently. I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They had his name is Ty Jerome. He normally comes off the bench, but he was on a heater. He was like potential 6th man of the year type candidate. And he pretty much he judged the officiating. He said, yo, the officiating's horrible. And he called out a ref. I forgot her name. But they basically told him he can't do that. And they fined him, I think, $40,000 or $50,000. It was crazy.
And there's no means or need to really do that, But
it's overboard.
And that's just what they like to do. They like to fine people, and it's just like, yo, what are you fining me for? Like, what did I do that caused me to get fined? Make it make sense.
Yeah, it's horrible. I think they need to figure out a way where they can fix the problem and stop allowing this to be about finances. Like, by the way, Ty Jerome was fined $25,000, not 30, $25,000 for publicly criticizing officiating. Natalie Sago or Sorgo.
Jesus.
Yeah, and he wasn't wrong. He just said her the refereeing was bad and horrendous. Why would you fine him $25,000 for that?
And if it's bad, it's bad. Why don't you fix the officiating instead of
fix the officiating? Exactly.
Just like any other job. They'd rather just, these jobs
fix everything but the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Do everything that fix the problem, but actually fix the problem.
Yeah.
So now I wanted to talk about Tom Thibodeau.
Yes.
I think it was Mikal Bridges the other day asked Tibbs for less playing time.
Yes.
I also seen before we came on the air, Josh Hart and Tibbs had a heated exchange yesterday.
Oh, wow. I didn't know about that.
Yeah. I seen it. I think it was yesterday.
But it might have been yesterday. I think they played a West Coast game. I was asleep.
You know it. So, we're in a time now where it's difficult for, we know Tibbs plays his players to the bone. You look at a lot of the players, Derrick Rose. You look at, Joakim Noah, Carlos.
Joakim Noah. Yep.
A lot of the players who played for him no longer play anymore. You look at Jalen Brunson right now. Last year in the playoffs, he sustained an injury. He's injured right now. He's going to be out till the end of March, beginning of April. He'll be back in time for the playoffs. But this hard style of basketball, excuse me, needs to go. And
right.
Oh, Jesus. And what are your thoughts on players asking for less playing time? Because he really believes in like this 8-man rotation.
Right.
And even though like you're winning games, right? It's like it's one of those things where if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it is broken because when you need your players the most, like
they're not going to be there.
They're not gonna have anything left. You got Brunson out. We know Cat has an interchangeable history with injuries. I mean, he's more healthy than not, but when he gets hurt, he misses 5-10 games at a clip. So what are your thoughts on Tibbs and how should he consider changing his coaching style finally?
I definitely think he needs to change his coaching style. I've been saying it for as long as we've been on the show, Mike, that Tibbs is a player killer, and I predicted this was going to happen months ago. And a lot of people have thought I was just throwing some hot takes out there. I wasn't. I told everybody Tibbs is going to kill his stars. And one of his stars is Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson plays, I believe, 39.5 minutes a game. Keep in mind, it's only 44 minutes in a whole entire basketball game. This man plays, if my memory serves me correct, 39.5 minutes a game he's averaging. That's insane.
And there's 48 minutes in a game, right? 12 minutes.
Yeah, 48. I'm sorry, 48. My bad. 48 minutes for the whole entire game. So we're looking at a player who's playing pretty much 85% of the game, 90% of the game, and he's not getting any breaks. We know the ball pretty much, the game pretty much revolve around how he plays.
Right.
And somebody like Mikal Bridges, who's pretty much the NBA's Iron Man, he played 5 or 6 seasons in a row, nonstop. He played every single game, including this season. He's been on the court every single game.
Right.
If he's saying he needs a break, he needs a break. It's just that simple. There's no let's question his integrity or anything like that. This guy's been playing every single season for the past 5 to 6 seasons. And Thibodeau is the type of coach that he likes his veterans. He likes to play a tight rotation of either 7 to 8 players every single night.
Right.
But the sad thing is most of these veterans are burnt out. You have people like Josh Hart, who's basically everything to this team. He's a small forward / shooting guard, but he's playing point guard. He's playing power forward. He's playing center sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's doing everything. So it's like once you get to that point where you're playing like 70, 80 games, down the stretch, you're tired. You're burnt out. And when you get to the playoffs, you don't have anything left in the tank. So I feel like Tom Thibodeau got to change his coaching approach. Plus, he needs to find players he can rotate into the rotation. Because at this point, if he doesn't depend on his young players, this team is worth nothing. They're probably going to get out in the second round. And this is going to keep happening until he changes how he does things. So that's my take on it.
The other part of it is you still have a month of the regular season left, roughly, right?
Yeah.
So who's to say, someone else doesn't go down within that month?
Exactly.
A month isn't a lot of time, but it's a lot of time in basketball, right?
Right.
It's a lot of, so you look at that because now if he doesn't become more successful this season, they're going to start looking like, all right, what's the problem?
Yeah.
You're playing well all season, and then we get to the big show. We brought Cat here to help elevate.
Right.
And if you get bumped in the first or the second round, this team is built for this team has the potential to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. They can get there. But
with the talent, yeah.
Right. But they, I'm just gonna pull up I got the standings right here. They're third in the Eastern Conference right now, behind Boston and Cleveland. And even though what Cleveland is doing is amazing and they're playing really good ball, I don't know if I'm a believer in what I'm seeing yet.
No.
That's
Same
not
here.
shade on them. That's not saying they're not playing great basketball. I just don't know if they have the talent down the stretch to get the job done to where they want to go.
Right. Exactly.
If you look at it, I still think, Boston's a better team. It's just Cleveland's playing better basketball in totality. But down the stretch,
Yeah.
who do you trust more? Me personally, I would trust Boston more. You look at the Knicks, they're in third place. They're about 6 games behind Boston. And then after that, you got Milwaukee just there. Like, I don't think they're doing anything really this season. Like,
No.
they're just there. Like, literally, they're just there. And then you look at the rest, obviously the Pacers, same thing, kind of just there. Detroit's on the rise. Obviously they're at 6 right now. They're about 4.5 away from the plan. So if they can keep balling, they'll lock in the 6. And then, the last 4, whatever. So the Knicks really, to me, the only person really in their way is Boston, to me.
Right.
To me,
I get you.
I think anyone else they can take to get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Not saying Cleveland cannot or will not, but that's just my take on it. R&B, welcome to the show. How you doing today,
welcome,
brother?
Tired, man, but I'm making it, man.
I hear you.
I'm making it.
We was just talking about time. Oh,
pretty good, man. Pretty good.
We good. We just doing these NBA topics, and then we're gonna bring Brandon in for the NFL portion. Right now we was just talking about if Tom Thibodeau should change his coaching style, because Mikal Bridges had asked for less playing time to give younger guys on the bench some more playing time, and how his coaching style has affected players, not just currently on the Knicks, but also players in the past, Joakim Noah, Derrick Rose, So what are your thoughts on, and him and Josh Hart had a heated exchange yesterday as well. So what are your thoughts on Tibbs, his coaching style, and should he change it?
Man, I pretty much heard everything y'all was saying, and I pretty much got the same exact sentiment. What I'm saying? He definitely needs to work on or think about changing his coaching style. He ever since Chicago, and the crazy thing too, he was the defensive, I guess you could say, coordinator of what was it, the 08 Boston team, right?
Yeah, the Boston Celtics championship team. Yep.
Yeah, great defense. And it was once rumored that when old boy was coaching in Phoenix, Mike D'Antoni was the head coach in Phoenix, that they had talked to him about bringing in Tim Thibodeau, as being his defensive coach or whatever, and he turned it down. And look at the result of Phoenix being hard headed. He should already know this as a lesson. He's a veteran coach, but man, that coaches like Tom Thibodeau that come from that era that he came up in and come from the type of trees that he come from, man, they stubborn. They got that old school coach mentality. They don't trust young players, rookies too much. You got to be really fucking good to impress them, and they just hard nosed, and that's how they are. So we can all sit here and say that it needs to be a change all we want to, but until he sees it that way,
he ain't changing it.
I think it's gonna.
Nah, he's not gonna change. They probably fire him before he change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll probably end up getting fired before, you know what I'm saying? Because if he's already had a heated exchange with Josh Hart, you already got Mikal Bridges asking for less playing time. This has to be a thing that's circulating throughout the entire locker room. So we've only heard about these 2 things, but who knows what else could be percolating throughout the locker room with just those 2 things getting out. Hey man, how I look at it, he could be out of there sooner than later. He could be out of there sooner than later, because you can't blow this opportunity right now. And like Mike was just saying, he only he only fear Boston is a team that would be in the way. I disagree. with the way he coaches the Knicks, you know what I'm saying, how he run them down into the ground, I believe they could be had. We've been talking about it in Detroit that we wouldn't mind matching up with the Knicks in the first round because people seriously believe the Pistons could beat the New York Knicks in a 7-game series if we played them in the first round. And
Oh
the
yeah, I
bad
agree
part
with that.
about it is
I'm
nobody should feel that way. Nobody should
Mm-hmm.
feel that way.
Mm-hmm. Not this season.
I say that based on them being healthy. Not healthy is another story. I was just basing what I say on both teams being healthy.
Yeah.
But not, but even still, I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit sneaks up in there and beats them, even if they were healthy. Because
see, Detroit. Yeah. No, I was going to say real quick. See, Detroit's rotation is what's like killing every team because they have like two players that can do exactly what the other player's doing. You get what I'm saying? So if you go up against a seven game series, by like game 4, game 5, the Knicks are burnt because they only got their starting 5. And on top of that, like they're not as hungry because you got to remember, they already got to where they wanted to be. They already exceeded expectations being number 3 in the East. So they're not like pushing to go out there and just kill teams. Detroit's ready to kill.
Well, and that's the other thing is even if you got all the players on the court for the Knicks, on the court doesn't always equate to healthy, right?
Right.
Because even though you're on the floor and you're not tired, you're healthy, you're not injured. Tired is a form of health. To me,
it is.
Like if I'm tired, I don't feel very healthy. Like my body feels weird. I got aches. I got pains. So like that rotation don't work. This ain't the movie Glory Road, Tibbs. Like, come on, bro. Come on. This ain't
that Jalen Brunson injury. Yeah, that Jalen Brunson injury is a killer, man. It's like it shows you what type of mentality Tom Thibodeau got. He's like, okay, next man up, but you haven't developed nobody. Like you got players that can take over, but you're burning through players. Like he doesn't believe, like R&B was saying, he doesn't believe in developing young players.
Right.
He's more or less focused on, I got my vets, I'm playing them. And we're gonna see how that goes.
Young players become developed already. Like I say, you got to be fucking amazing for them old school hard-nosed coaches to play you. You got to be fucking amazing. It's a shame.
That's horrible.
They better hope that they, like you said, we got just a little over a month left in the season. They better hope that they don't start a slide here. You know what I'm saying? That they can hold it together without Brunson because I hate that shit, man. That's a big blow for him to sit up there and, I understand the whole cliche bullshit, but you gotta realize sometime it comes a time where cliche just ain't cliche. You know what I'm saying? This Jalen Brunson we talking about here. This is one of the top 5 point guards in the league. Your starting all-star point guard, one of the best players in the Eastern Conference, and he goes down with an injury, and you just sit up there and say, next man up? No. That is a big blow. That's not just next man up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the quarterback of the team.
Right. Exactly.
And that's what I tell people all the time is, sometimes people will say the same thing about sports injuries. And like sometimes the next man up can't do what the man that went down did.
Right.
Lucas said that after LeBron went down, and you can see they're sliding without LeBron. So sometimes
you know what though, they've been playing some good ball though. I will say that
they're sliding a little bit.
Down, no, you're right though. They are sliding. They not in third no more. I think they done fell back to like 6 or some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Nah, I just looked. Hold on, I pulled it up. I think they're in 4.
They're not in third no more.
They're 5th.
Yeah, they definitely.
Yeah,
when I looked earlier, I thought it said 4th, but they're in 5th.
Because I don't think they've won a game since LeBron got hurt.
No,
they lost 4 in a row.
It's just been a whole bunch of close shootouts.
Yeah,
that game last night was a real good game.
Yeah, with the bench, yeah, they did their thing. Yeah. But that goes to show you how the NBA's like, you could be a 3 seed one day, and the next you're a 6 seed the next, because Golden State's right behind them. They're I believe
They're
what, 2 games behind?
out. But
Yeah, they're 2 games out.
The other thing you gotta look at is right now, Houston, Denver, and Memphis are all 43 and 25.
Yeah.
Right now.
All got the same record.
Yep, 2 through 4 right now is anyone's game. And shout out to Houston, because I'm not gonna lie. I would I kind of be spot checking basketball till this time of year or like February-ish. But I have not paid attention. I've been looking at Detroit, but I have not been watching Houston at all. These dudes done crap.
Houston's good.
I'm paying attention to Houston. Houston's good. Sengun,
they're good.
He's good.
They have crept up, and they are like, we're back. We are here. We I can't say they've arrived. I can't.
No, not yet.
But
no, not yet.
It's looking good for
them. And I like how Ime Udoka is coaching them. I know Boston won a championship last year, but I feel like Ime got slighted. I feel like he developed that team the way they are.
Let's keep it a bug. They owe him a ring. To be
That's
honest.
what I'm saying. That whole team is Ime's.
Owe him. He should get a ring in the mail from that championship team last year, man.
I totally agree with that.
It says here, got a comment on the screen. 2 through 4 are all ties. For second, LA is only 2 games out.
Right.
Yeah, but
it's a tight race in the West.
But let's be honest now. I'm looking at the standings, and Golden State's in 6th, and they're only 4 games behind, 3.5 games behind Memphis, which means they're 3.5 games.
Winning 15 of their last 13.
Yep.
I mean, 13 of their last 15.
Straight.
I said that backwards.
So they're only 3 games out, realistically, of that area too. We gotta call it like we see it, because they can right now they're playing good ball too, and no one, but people really ain't watching, and not to mention Minnesota has won 7 in a row. They're a game behind Golden State. So
you know what though, Mike? It's interesting you brought Minnesota up. They don't fear me as much as Golden State do.
No,
they just don't, because I think it's a different mentality team.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes down to it, when the playoffs start or whatever, I think it's going to be 2 different mentalities, and I don't think people expected, myself included, for Jimmy Butler to come over there and have it in Golden State by himself. He's had. I thought that they was going to need to at least make another move to bring in another player with them, a big or something like that. I didn't expect Golden State to take this run that they've been on since Jimmy been there. Minnesota, we expected them to look a certain way coming into this season because of what they did last year, even though they made the trade. But it's just something about them that they just don't be serious enough to me, seem like.
Got another comment here. The Rockets are a little further along than us when we were really at the same level. How are they a little better than us now?
Which team is he talking about?
Who's us, bro?
That's my boy K. He talking about Detroit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Okay. So
wait, what was the question? I'm sorry.
The Rockets are a little further along than us when we're really at the same level. Mm-hmm. How are they better than us now? He's asking how the Rockets are better than the Pistons now.
I don't think they're better. I don't think they are. I think they just got, like, there's different expectations. Like the Rockets, this is what, second year with MA or the third year? The second year, right?
Second year. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Rockets, it's their second year with Ime Udoka, and Ime's like, he's a champion coach. I can say that because I don't care what they say about this other coach. He got this Boston team together, but with JB Bickerstaff, he's just starting to develop his stars, like Cade Cunningham, Durant, Who else is on that team? Malik Beasley.
Before he got hurt.
Oh yeah, Jaden Ivey. Like these guys are up and coming stars. Like I know they got young stars in Houston, but they got a lot of vets on there that's like they understand the game. So I would say that in my opinion, I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, but they both at the same level, just different expectations.
I think they got a slight little bit more talent than we do too. I like Jalen Duren. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Jalen Duren, but he's a rim runner, and Sangoon is more of a Sangoon look like a young Joker out there. You know what I'm saying?
He really do.
He can dribble. He can dribble. Like get to the lane and get his own shot. So that's saying a lot right there.
Oh, he said that he feels like they're taking a bigger leap. I feel like they were taking a bigger leap than us over the past couple of days. Yeah, and like you mentioned, RB Shingun. I think he's an all-star, right? He was an all-star,
yeah,
or potential all-star. Then you got Fred VanVleet. He got a championship ring over there. I mean, he got a championship ring in the league. Then you got Jalen Green. You got stars over there, and the veterans that like know how to take over the game. So it's a different type of team. But what I will say is I'm glad that it's not just the same old teams that are being recognized. I love to see up-and-coming teams be recognized. And one more thing, though. When it comes down to Minnesota, they're a joke. Don't believe any other stats because, first off, they always talk about they need superstars and need closers to win games and win championships, right?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't believe in Anthony Edwards as a closer. I might be wrong, but hear me out. He's not the type that's going to take over the game and win a series for you. That's just my opinion. I think they're good. I think they're talented, but I feel they're missing something in Minnesota, and I don't feel like their record is what it is.
Well, I wasn't bringing them up to say that they're going to make any noise. I'm bringing them up to show how in danger the Lakers are falling out without LeBron.
Okay. Yeah. No doubt.
That's what I was getting. Okay. That's what I was alluding to, because if they can't pull something back together, like, then they're gonna start looking at things. The narrative changes, just like when LeBron first went to LA and had the same injury, a groin injury. They were in 4th place in the Western Conference, and people forgot about that.
Second,
second,
and now you look at it. What second? What?
He was in second. They was in second place.
No. The first year, the first year he went to LA, he had that young team in 4th place in the Western Conference.
Lonzo Ball and all of them. Yeah, they was in second place.
Nah, they was in 4th, bro. They was in 4th.
I thought they was in second place in the West when he went down with that groin.
He could have been. I remember.
I'm gonna have to fact.
But I know this time they were definitely.
They definitely were top. Yeah, they were top.
Yeah, they was the top. They was the top 4 team. Yeah, definitely.
And now, we're looking at the same thing. So all I'm saying is that they can. They're close to falling into that play-in area.
Right.
That's the point I was bringing up, because Minnesota's only 2.5 behind them. So they got to really put together.
I ain't gonna lie though, that might kind of work. I don't think that's what they were searching for, but you never know. That shit might work out for the Lakers to fall into the play-in, maybe end up with an OKC in the first round. Because I'm not saying I feel like this personally. I feel like this year OKC, another year under their belt, this should be the year that they take that leap and show it and get to the finals, this is their conference. But until they actually do it, the Lakers are probably going to feel like we can take them.
Yeah.
They're going to feel like we can take them.
I definitely agree with that, because you got Luka that just went to the finals last year. LeBron, you already know. LeBron turns up in the playoffs. And then on top of that, like, now they're starting to develop their role players, like Dalton Connects, Reeves. They got their players that are stepping up. Even what's his name? Jared Vanderbilt. Like I remember watching this dude play in Minnesota. He didn't do none of this stuff. Like he's blocking shots, making mid-range shots. He's doing great. So the
He was
development of
looking
talent.
good when he first got to the Lakers. He just got hurt. He been hurt for seemed like 2 years.
Yeah, he's always hurt.
Lakers.
Yeah, that's true. It's just a refreshing feeling to see other players step in that role. Like instead of just seeing a 2-man show with Luka and LeBron. So
absolutely,
that might be. You know what? I want to see that. I want to see OKC up against the Lakers. That would be a good first round matchup.
You never know. Could happen.
Did they rather play OKC than Denver? I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, Denver's scary.
I can guarantee you that.
Absolutely.
That's my pick for the West, too, by the way. Denver, I got them coming out the West.
Denver. It could happen. The West is still like, you don't even know, really. Like
Golden State's number 2 with my pick.
You know, anyone could really – anyone. So before we pivot to the NFL, I want to kind of talk about the 76ers. The 76ers are a disaster. A disaster. Like they talking now about trading PG during the offseason. They were talking about the tampering. They're being investigated for like tampering and all this. They're talking about trading Joel Embiid. And you know what? I don't know. They were talking about an investigation for something. I didn't read the whole article. I kind of just glanced by it. But maybe something messing with Paul George.
Yeah, no, it was an investigation for them, like basically tanking, like sitting their players.
So now we got to look at this, and it's just like, what are we doing, guys? What are we doing? This is really not good, you know, because this team you gave Paul George all this money, and he ain't gonna do much with it. He hasn't done much for you. What are your guys' thoughts on the 76ers? And
you go first, R&B.
What do they need to do at any point in time?
Put me on the spotlight.
Nah, because I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna go off on the 76ers. I'm pissed.
Well, then I'll make mine short. Let you do your rant because I don't even know what to say. They just suck. That's why when you said tampering, I'm like, tampering for what? Normally teams that get caught up in tampering shit are actually making moves to be better or have gotten better, and they getting even better, more better. Like, Philly sucks, man. They got a lot of injury woes. Paul George just, I don't know, man. He can't stay healthy. He hasn't looked like himself. But if I do say if he can play, he should play because that's the best way to try to get himself out of the slump. So, but I don't really know what to say about Philly, man. But the bright spot is Tyrese Maxey. You know what I'm saying? If they talking about moving on from Paul George, they talking about maybe trying to trade Embiid, then hopefully you can get the type of, picks and players back that you can, not fall off and move forward with Tyrese Maxey as your star. But I don't know if Daryl Morey should remain in power as the GM over there. Like it might be time for him to go too. You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much all I can say about it.
Go ahead, bro.
Listen, I don't know if you guys remember, but do you remember when they rolled out the statue for AI?
Yeah.
And do you remember how it looked like a gargoyle? It didn't even look like a real statue. The thing was probably 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of the end for the 76ers. And I'm pointing that out because first off, you draft the most injury-prone players. You drafted Joel Embiid, who was historically injured in college. Then you go out and you go get a point guard who's either injured or emotionally disturbed, Ben Simmons. And then on top of that, like you bring in a coach that really doesn't understand how to coach to develop this team. Because Nick Nurse, he won a championship with the Toronto Raptors. They played great with him. But as soon as they brought him onto the 76ers, that team just fell apart. Now, I understand that injuries happen. Paul George isn't 100%. But honestly, that Paul George deal was even a bad move too, because Paul George is also known for being hurt. Now this guy's talking about now they're talking about basically shutting him down for the rest of the season. Now I know there's probably like 20-something games, but that's why they're being investigated, because they're wondering what the heck is going on with Paul George. Paul George isn't PG-13 no more. He's podcast B. He's not focused on basketball like he used to. His fingers hurt, his knees hurt, his back hurt. He got so many damn injuries. So it's like, I feel this team needs to blow up. They need to just get rid of everybody except Tyrese Maxey. Joel Embiid, I think, is probably going to either medically retire or he's going to probably get traded to another team, which I don't see happening. But he's not going to play another game as a 76er anymore. I think that's done. So it's to the point where we got to look at this team for what it is. It's a dumpster fire. It's a dumpster fire. And like I said, it really stems back to how they treated their legend, AI. I know that's like, it's two different subjects, but I feel they just don't get things right. And Daryl Morey is the worst GM in the NBA right now. Like, this dude literally admitted that he uses AI tools to make decisions. Like, who does that? That goes to show you this team is like, they're incompetent. They need to blow this whole team up. Either find a new GM, find a new coach, or move this franchise to another city, because they're killing it. They're really messing up right now. They're killing the whole vibe in Philly. And I feel bad for the fans, because for them to be 22 and 44 is unacceptable when you have pretty much 3 all-stars on the team. So that's my take on it, man. I just feel like they got to get rid of everybody, including the GM and the coach.
I tend to disagree with you a little bit there on Nick Nurse. I'm not saying that I think that Nick Nurse is a developer, because I certainly don't think he really developed that Toronto team. I think that you already had veterans and Kyle Lowry, and after they traded DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard, it was kind of like a ready-made situation that he was blessed with there in Toronto. But I do think he's a good coach, though. I think he's a good coach. I think it's just a bad situation in Philly. I think you know what I'm saying, which, excuse me, probably won't happen. But I think that you need to, think about moving forward with him as your coach. And like I said, it's Tyrese Maxey is your new budding superstar. You build around Tyrese Maxey. You get some players in there to fit around him.
But do you feel he lost the locker room?
Nick,
Yeah.
I don't think he lost the locker room. I think the locker room lost the locker room.
Yeah.
Because all of the injuries and shit, they just seemed like they just kind of gave up. You got, you didn't hear any reports, at least as far as I know, about, Nick Nurse being attacked by Tyrese Maxey. They said Tyrese Maxey was going in on Joel Embiid, telling Joel to
Oh
get
yeah.
his shit together. So
No, I agree. Yeah, it's a weird situation, because it's like, which one do you fix first? Do you fix the player situation, or do you fix the coaching situation? And the reason why I said he's a terrible coach is because he's allowing these teams to he's allowing the team to basically run themselves. Like, there's so many opportunities he can use young players and develop them, but he's not doing it. Like, he had Kyle Lowry out there. He had Eric Gordon out there. I'm like, yo, bro, if this team ain't going nowhere, why the hell would you have these old ass players out there playing? You're not gonna benefit from that. You get your young stars out there and you develop them.
Wait, real quick. It didn't cut you guys off, did it?
Huh?
Did StreamYard cut you guys off?
No, we was on.
no, yeah.
They got it.
Flag. So,
yeah, right. We said something about what was we talking about before? LeBron. They could the Clippers. Nah. Yeah, they got young stars in Philly. They got what's his name? They got a few young stars on there, man. I don't know right off the top, but I know when I watched the game, they got like 3 or 4 guys that are like potential guys that can play. Like they drafted a dude in a draft. I think he was like either a lottery pick or mid first round.
That fingernail polish freak boy.
No,
he hurt.
I know. I know he's hurt. No, he's a star. That's my guy, McCain. He's going. I don't agree with the finger polish thing. By the way, I don't. Like I think they need to stop doing that, especially in sports. But he can ball though. He can play. I'm talking about there's another guy. Either they drafted him first round or they got him in the second round. But anyway, they keep sending him back to the G League. But when he plays, he puts up numbers. I don't know his name right off the top. I'll find it. But they need to find a way to get their stars out there. I mean, their younger stars. Oh, Ricky Council third or fourth. I don't know if you guys know him, but when he was in the G League, he scores like 40 points a game.
Yeah.
And now, the guys got to bring it now, you know. Okay. All right, we're going to transfer over to the NFL. I'm just having some difficulties here. Just give me 1 second. Hold on. Yeah. So as we know, had a little technical difficulty there. I don't know what the heck happened or why StreamYard just lost its mind and kicked me out. Just said, nah, not today. So as we know, free agency has hit our airwaves this week. And a lot of stuff happened, and a lot of stuff didn't happen. And we just have to, we just gonna rip the Band-Aid off.
Go right ahead, Mike.
Mr. Fraudulent.
Oh,
Mr. Fraudulent.
Oh, man.
Mr. Fraudulent.
The tribal chief, Aaron Rodgers.
Here's my thing. I'm going to keep it short and I'm going to keep it sweet because I don't even got much to say about this no good diva ass white boy.
He's coming to your team, Mike.
No, just stay in the Giants. Stay there. Don't move. There's nothing you can do for us. There's nothing you can do for us. I don't want you. I don't need you. I'd rather us lose every game. No, I don't want you. But here's what the point I'm gonna make, and it's short. It's like everyone's like he's holding up the league. Like he does this every year. Every year he usually goes into a cave and has to debate if he wants to play. Oh my God, how many You're not that fucking important, bro. You're not that fucking important. You're on fucking Pat McAfee every week. You're not that fucking important.
You are a hater.
Stop holding up the fucking league. Stop. Just take your whack ass to the Giants. The Vikings don't want you. I sure as hell don't want you rocking black and yellow. Make up your fucking mind. Pick a fucking team, go there, and get fucking started. I've had enough of you.
Save
And
this
after you
clip.
tore your fucking Achilles,
Save
I
this
was
clip
hoping I wouldn't
if
have
he
to
go to
see you
Pittsburgh.
again.
Go to Pittsburgh. He's going. He's going up in Pittsburgh now. They're gonna make an announcement today. He's going to Pittsburgh.
Fuck him. Go away. No one wants you. No one likes
Before
How many times has Aaron Rodgers been a free agent?
I think twice, right?
you. What? Once when
Exactly. So how can we say he does this every year? Come on, man.
Not that portion. The portion where like where it's like, I don't know if I'm coming back. I don't know if I want to play. I gotta go into a dark cave with some fucking cocaine and some chronic.
Whoa. Wait. We don't know if he does that. We can't say that on the air. That's illegal.
Whoa.
Well,
Whoa.
You can't say that, Mike.
This is a free country. This is a free
No,
country.
but you can't say he goes in there with you can't. All right, okay. All right. We're gonna
At
get
least
sued.
marijuana is legal in some
That's what I'm
states.
saying. Like you're saying stuff that he can. We could get sued for saying that he does that.
Yeah, defamation.
Yeah.
Well, he's defamating our lives. All right.
Oh man.
And get the fuck out the way. And if you so happen for some reason to pick the Steelers, God bless you.
He's going to the Steelers. I'm telling you, he's going.
The Steelers will have lost a fan for a season. I will go cheer for every other team. Fuck him. Fuck him. Damn. I don't want him. I hope if any of you go to the Steelers, break your leg again and don't come back.
Hey, let's rewind back to the clip, Nick, from last week of where he said that if Aaron Rodgers went to Pittsburgh and they actually played good and he was able to get them to a Super Bowl, he would celebrate.
I did hear that. Yes, I heard that. You did say that.
I never said that.
We got receipts. We got receipts.
We got receipts, man.
It's always been fuck him. Y'all know that. It's been fuck him.
But you said if you win the championship, you're celebrating. Because we asked.
Nah, we ain't celebrating.
Oh man.
You got a better chance at me. You got a better chance at me going.
We know
to a Kendrick Lamar, Taylor Swift concert with Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard. Rocking a Baltimore Ravens jersey. That's what you got.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh, that's sad.
Don't mention KD. You gonna get us in trouble with that too.
Exactly. Like, come on. We trying to build this show up. We're trying to build this show up. They're gonna get us, man.
And fuck Kawhi while we're at it.
I'm a Kawhi fan. I like Kawhi, but I ain't worried. But Kawhi don't care. Kawhi,
yeah, he's not paying no attention to this.
Yeah, he don't pay attention to himself.
Yeah.
Let alone.
But real quick, I want to say this about Aaron Rodgers. I understand where you're coming from, Mike, as a fan, right? Because remember, I had him for 2 years. We had him here with the Jets for 2 years, so I get it. However, I will say, if he goes to to Pittsburgh, I think that they can pull something off with this team. Like, I think they can get to the AFC Championship. Like, all jokes aside, because they got the weapons now. They got the weapons. They got help. All they're missing is a quarterback that can lead them there. Now, with that being said, honestly, I don't think he's going. I mean, it's a chance, but I feel like he's either going to retire or go to Minnesota and pull off the funniest thing ever in the NFL and follow Brett Favre all the way down the line. But
did Favre play for you guys for 1 year or two?
I think it was 2 years.
Damn.
I think so too.
And I think he played the exact same amount of seasons.
No, he only played one season with the Jets.
Oh, he did? Well, it felt like 2 years. It was horrible.
Well, for what it's worth, Aaron Rodgers only played one.
Yeah, that's true. He technically only played one. Yeah.
Technically. One in 4 snaps.
Yep. But what do you guys think? Do you think he's going to what team?
I just hope
I have
I
no
hope it's either the
idea.
Vikings or he retires. I don't want to. I'm done hearing his name. Honestly, like as somebody who doesn't really have to deal with this, and oh my god, I don't miss quarterback purgatory at all. I'm just like Brett Favre. I'm sick of hearing his name. Please retire, or
Yes.
at least in his case, go go finish your destiny.
Exactly.
Look, this how I look at it. It's not their fault that they're so fucking great at what they do that these people want to talk about. They don't ask to be talked about. You pick the conversations that you want to have, Mike. You pick the conversations that you want to have, Raj. You pick the conversations that you want to be a part of, Brad. They pick the conversations on First Take. They pick the conversations on FS1 and all these other sports outlets out here. And they decide to talk about these motherfucking quarterbacks or whatever players they decide to talk about. It's not their fault. It's not their fault.
But he's holding the NFL hostage.
He's a 4-time MVP and an NFL champion, and he's 40-something years old. And he deserves the time to sit back and decide what he wants to do.
How long? How long does it take?
But it's also been...
he has earned the right to not have to be under the thumb. Don't we all talk about not wanting to be under the thumb? He's earned the right to have the power to not have to be fully under the thumb.
Well, he has the right to take his time. I'm just saying I'm sick of hearing his name. Like,
and that has nothing to do with him. It's outlets. They choose the. How many times do you sit up and you watching First Take? Right.
Well, I'm at work. I don't get to watch those shows. I'm
at work too, but I love First Take, so I DVR.
I don't blame you. Like I do. I like to watch First Things First. Nick Wright, Chris Broussard,
I DVR that too.
Yeah,
like even though I get tired of Nick Wright's bronze sexual cock swallowing ass.
Hey!
God, this dude here,
dude
man,
knows ball, man. I hate to say it, dude knows ball.
That's okay to say.
Yeah,
that's okay to say.
No, it's not.
Look here, David. I'm making a point. When you watch a lot of these shows, you find yourself sitting up saying to yourself, why the fuck are we talking about the Dallas Cowboys and these motherfuckers? It's all of these teams about to make the playoffs.
I agree.
And threatening to win a championship. But these motherfuckers continue to want to talk about the same mediocre to can't get it done to sorry ass team every day, week in and week out. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, at least the Steelers, they have been, they have had continuously made the playoffs at a winning record. But, yes, the Cowboys, why are we talking to them?
I agree with that. I don't know why.
He talk about the Steelers is because Stephen A is a Steelers fan. If he wasn't a Steelers fan, they probably wouldn't talk about them like that either.
Snoop's a Steelers fan too.
Yeah.
Snoop's
he's everywhere. He's gonna make sure they're brought up.
He's not really liked in the black community right now.
He'll be all right.
Yo, of course he'll be all right. That's Snoop. That's Snoop D-O-double-G. He'll be just fine. But I don't know. What I do know is he's holding the league hostage, homie. Pick a team, go to that team, make that.
So we just move on.
He does like the drama. Like that's always,
Yes.
This is another thing about it too, though. Who said it's that easy? Who says it's that easy? You got to know that this dude is clamoring to try to win another championship. He wants to prove a point. That's why he wants another MVP in the first place. He might.
He might be. Yeah, he might want an MVP more than a championship.
He's trying to figure out of these situations what is going to be the best situation for me. The reason that they talking about the Giants, I don't know why. Because to be honest with you, I think that's just being thrown around as clickbait. That's not a fucking option. He's not going to the fucking Giants. This dude is either going to go to Pittsburgh or Minnesota. Right now, he's trying to figure out what's going to be the best situation for me that I can go in and ultimately try to be successful, maybe win another MVP, hopefully win another championship. Whether it be Justin Jefferson and Addison, or whether it be DK Metcalf and Pickens, because it did not work with Wilson in 8 games of Adams.
I think that, for him, that I see where you're taking the actual media approach, something I don't do with this fuckhead. But it's just like, it gets to a point where Minnesota already has a guy. They drafted a guy. That's who I'm reading. They're saying they're going to rock with. Whether that's true or not, we don't know.
I mean, it makes sense.
Absolutely. Now, when it comes to the Giants, we know they just don't have it. Like, their offensive line.
There's no. I mean, like, as awesome as Malik Neighbors is, that's not going to do anything.
That's not going to move the needle.
Yeah. No. The defense is terrible. They won 3 games. So how could he come in there and turn it around? Unfortunately, of the 3 teams, Pittsburgh is the best option for him. Does he help us get
it's Minnesota?
Well, I mean, based on I'm putting their circumstances in place.
I don't think he was all that much better than Russell Wilson was last year. Like,
they have no quarterback option.
It's just over the hill, period.
It's Minnesota. But considering they have a quarterback, it's not Minnesota. Because once again,
coming off of an ACL. A rookie coming off of an ACL.
I'm just telling you what I'm reading. I'm not telling you what I know. I'm just telling you what I've read in general media. And that's the consensus. Now, if they decide to go that direction, the Steelers is the best option for him. Now, because I'm reading the Vikings don't want him. But that's what he's waiting on to see if they want him. I don't know. But that will remain to be seen. But right now, I'm ready to get Raj fired up since I had my turn.
Oh, man.
2 years, $40 million. The Jets wanted him. They took him from the Steelers.
I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, he's an upgrade over Aaron Rodgers. He at least has the athleticism to make more plays than Aaron Rodgers did.
But he.
Raj, why you look at the camera like that?
All right, let me just say this, and I'm not going to be long with this. You know how I feel about Justin Fields. And at this point, I don't care about this franchise no more. I really don't, because they don't believe in finding players that can actually play. And not saying he's a bad quarterback. I'm saying that this is a bad situation for Justin Fields. I'd rather him play in Miami or play somewhere else.
I could give because
he'll be good at with another team. The Jets do not feel they need to develop a quarterback. And that's their problem. Because I'm like, all right, we got rid of our quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is gone. Let's bring in Shedeur Sanders. Let's bring him in. What do? They signed Justin Fields for $40 million, 2 years, $40 million. What does that tell you? We got our quarterback for the future. And we're not trying to develop another quarterback. Just throw the whole franchise away.
I also read that the Jets aren't against drafting a quarterback in the draft.
They should absolutely draft it. I mean,
they need to draft a quarterback, but they're not going to do it. You know who they're going to go out and get? And I hate to say this, but they're going to end up getting what's my man that was playing both positions? It just escaped my mind.
Travis Hunter.
Travis
Hunter.
Travis Hunter, yes. Travis Hunter. They're going to end up getting him just for the name, because that's what the Jets do. We like names. We don't like developing. We don't like helping people get to the next level. All we care about is just finding names and putting it in the back of the newspaper. We don't care about nothing else.
I like it.
But who's going to throw to him?
No, I'm saying I like it. I like where you going with it. The name's Travis Hunter. Like in New York, it fits. Could you
Oh yeah,
imagine?
no doubt.
Talk about on TMZ with him and his girlfriend. My God,
That's what I'm
good
saying.
TV.
And they're going to eat it up. They love the media. They love putting them in the back of the New York Post, and it's annoying because we need to find a team that can get to the damn playoffs. That's all I care about. I don't care about nothing else. I don't care about no championship. I don't care about no division championship. Can we make the playoffs? Because if we don't make the playoffs this year, it's going to be purgatory for the next 5 years because you got Josh Allen and you got freaking Tua that's still around. I might not see another championship for another decade.
I'm not gonna lie, Drake May might be the truth too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about Drake May. Yeah, so it's possible that we won't ever see the playoffs ever again in my lifetime if we don't figure this out because we can't get in without winning the division, and our division is starting to get stacked. So I'm upset about this move. I'm not upset about Justin Fields. Let me just make that clear. I think Justin Fields is a good quarterback, not a great quarterback, but a good quarterback. I just don't like him for the Jets.
That's fair.
Well, I think, and I've told people this, is his style of football isn't going to win you championships.
No.
Because like that works, right, for so long. But when you get into December and you get into these playoff situations, let's say you make the playoffs, you win a game, and then you go match up with like Buffalo or Kansas City or something in the second round, you're going to have to throw the ball down the field to win the game. Them defenses, they're going to be ready for you to run the ball. And that the proof is in the pudding, even in the Super Bowl. Even though Kansas City got jacked up, they were prepared for Saquon Barkley, right? The rest of the team was able to beat them. So that's the same thing. That same testament could be to Justin Fields' quarterbacking play. You make him one-dimensional. He really is already one-dimensional. He's not really a prolific passer. So now you kind of know he's either going to extend it, kind of look for like a tight end or a close receiver, or he's going to run that thing.
Yep.
That's just not going to win. And you got your wide receivers are what? Garrett Wilson. Who else is there? Don't you have another receiver?
Alan Lazard.
Yeah, Alan Lazard's still there.
How long is he going to be there?
I think he's gone after this year. I think he got one more year. This is last year.
One more year. With the receivers that they got, I don't think it really fit Justin Fields' play style
at all.
I mean,
because these the type of receivers you got to get the ball down the field in their hands. And Justin, I'm not saying he can't do it, but thus far in the league, it hasn't been one of his strength points. We've seen him do it on occasion, but it hasn't been consistent. So I have to lean on the fact that I don't think that you're that good at doing it. You're more so a dink and dunk and can take off running. And if you can get the front seven sucked in just enough, you might be able to run a play action and launch one down the field. And hopefully it's accurate. That's what he seems like to me.
Which would kind of work with the Steelers, to be honest.
That's what I said.
That's what I was saying last year, man.
That's what I said. I said the same thing. I said I get what they was doing with Russ.
I never liked it. Never liked it.
But keep Justin because Justin is going to be the same. He's going to increase the amount of wins later down the line. Like it was immediate gratification with Russ, but I believe if you would have developed Justin Fields just a little bit more, it would have been a good look for the next few years.
I don't agree. I don't think what Justin Fields was doing with Pittsburgh last year, it was not going to be sustainable. It was not going to be sustainable. If you cannot tell me that if you feel like if they don't move with Russ, that offense doesn't take the leap that it took when Russ first took over.
I feel like it was. I feel like it would have been. It would have looked better would have looked better in January than it ended up doing.
Right.
There were straight up times where it's like, dude, if he had even 10% more speed, he would have gotten out of that. Like,
And plus you got because like all right, the situation right now, right? This is what I was saying. You got Justin. Now basically he's with the Jets, but he was pretty much a free agent after the whole debacle happened in Pittsburgh, right?
Mhm.
But if you would have came up with a plan saying, look, Justin, we believe in you. We're going to keep you. But right now, we want to see what's going on with Russ. We want to see if he can get to where he was in Seattle. If that's the case, if they would have communicated with him or whatever and kept Justin Fields, I'm telling you, they would have had a bridge quarterback for the next 1 or 2 seasons. But they didn't want to keep him.
It seems like he's gonna be kind of if this don't work, he's really in a sticky situation because as he's moving along, each opportunity counts for something. So if he can't get any, show any gratitude here with the Jets, which is gonna be hard, he could be in some trouble. Not saying he can't play well or do well, but it's gonna definitely start becoming an uphill battle for him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just see what it look like. We'll revisit this once the season starts next year. We'll see what it look like. Because I'm gonna predict right now that Justin Fields with the Jets is gonna look like a 5% better version of Zach Wilson. a lot of speed, running. Let's not act like Zach Wilson don't have wheels.
No, he do.
A lot of
but
speed,
he just can't throw.
running around, and can't get the ball down the field. You'll win 7 or 8 games.
Oh. Next topic, man. I don't want to talk about the Jets no more.
We'll see how that goes. But
I can't. I hate this team.
But while we're on everyone's team, I want to move to the Buffalo Bills for a moment here.
Making moves.
Mr. Josh Allen in particular. Josh Allen has received one of the most lucrative contracts in the history of the league. During this time, I'm just trying to. Brandon, do you know what it is offhand, so I don't have to look it up?
It was like $330 million. He already had 4 years left on the deal, so it was only like 2 years extended. It's $250 million guaranteed, 330 potential. It's the most guaranteed by anybody over Deshaun Watson, and it's like the way it's evened out. It's like it's more backloaded when all the TV rights are supposed to come in, which is why like he's supposed to have like an $89 million cap it in like 2029, but that's also when it's supposed to jump up like 50 million or some shit like that. So it
says 6 years, 330 million, 147 guaranteed as signing, 18 million in March, 166 million in 3 years cash, 220 million in 4 years, 5 years. It says 272.5 million practical. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a hot take. Maybe not. Well, I'm going to actually give a question.
Yeah.
Do you guys think Josh Allen deserved this money, considering that he just won his first MVP this season and that he's not won the big game yet or even been to it?
I think he's completely worth it. Worth every penny. If we just revisit the conversation that we were just having and Raj's misery about the Jets, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, please. Completely worth it. It's all like
now,
let's put another stat out there to give a little more context. Josh just put up his 5th consecutive 40 overall touchdown season. The next closest person to have done it was like 3 consecutive seasons. The next closest active season is 1 by Lamar Jackson. So, yeah, he's worth it.
Okay, but Now, I got to play devil's advocate because all those seasons have gotten you what? So let's just say this trend continues
5
and he
division
don't win.
championship.
But
Yep.
what's that equated to for you?
That's a relevance.
I can answer that. 5 division championships has equated to sold out butts in the seats, a sold out stadium.
Mm-hmm.
We got to remember it's not just about, even though the main thing, I don't want to misquote
Not the
this,
main.
the main thing that I know we all care about as sports fans is the results on the court and on the field. In the overall spectrum, if we were owners, it's not just about that. People want to get paid for their production and what they do to bring fans and bring revenue and money in as well. So that's a part of why he's worth it as well.
True.
Right.
Like we
business,
lost.
I always say it's business first, but at
Yeah.
the end of the day, you can say you can look at all those things. If Josh Allen cannot deliver a Super Bowl to this team, it's going to be a problem. No matter what, they're going to look at every
Still
other
don't mean he
aspect.
not warrant the money though.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that he's not the one that's not delivering.
Well, what I'm saying is if I'm paying that money, I want to see some kind of substantial result. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Especially when
he just got an MVP. This was technically the closest that we had gotten to a Super Bowl this past year. Like the first time we reached the AFC Championship game, we kind of got blowout. This time was a 3-point game. Once again, Josh did just fine in the playoffs. He could have played better. Definitely could have played worse, like Lamar did. And there was only one team all year that gave up 30 points to the Kansas City Chiefs this season, and it was us in the AFC Championship game. Is that Josh's fault? No, he put up 29. We needed him to put up more, but like usually when you put up 29 more times than not, you'll win the game. Josh did his job again. It was I can't even blame Sean McDermott for this one. It was because we had Christian Benford go out of the game. Like he got injured, and that forced Kyer Elam, who's now been traded to the Cowboys. Hooray! Like
Sean McDermott's definitely coached better this season than he has previously.
I was on the show. I'm sorry.
Of the decisions he's making, I'm just like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, no.
What are you doing?
As you should. I agree. I was on the Sean McDermott should be on the hot seat take last year, but he was better this year. He was better this year.
Wait, you said he should still be?
Yes. If there is a question in Buffalo, it's not Josh Allen's money. It's whether Sean McDermott is the man going forward. I don't care that you just got to an AFC championship. That I don't care. You've fallen short every single year before that. You know what I'm saying? And some of those were on him where they fell short at. So
absolutely.
At this point, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he needs to go right now, but
it should be a question.
Deliver something. You got to deliver a Super Bowl berth at least. You know, this year you need to take that next step because we've been waiting for you to take this AFC Championship step well overdue. So you know what I'm saying? How long is the leash going to be?
Oh, I agree. I'm completely with you. I would just I was having this exact thought process like almost 2 years ago. The very first Zach Wilson loss was when I was like, this guy probably should be out of here. Like, we should not be losing these games. We needed this if we wanted to have any chance to we were very undermanned, and literally like that game, I was in person for that. I saw them and I was just like, they're not going to pass the ball. We're up by 5 points. They need a touchdown. They're going to run and run and run, and that's all they did. And it was just like, bro, like you got I can't believe Sean McDermott, his defense didn't make that adjustment. So this past year, I was like, after what I saw was, okay, you got another, I'll give you extended leash for this upcoming year because he did step up. This was supposed to, if you listen to almost all of the NFL media and people out there, like they were predicting us to take a step back. Like, a lot of people were picking the Jets and the Dolphins to actually win the division. Like, and then ended up being literally the best year technically we've had in the Josh Allen era. So
Yeah,
McDermott is okay. He, don't fuck up next year, please.
Okay for now. But
Yes.
let me ask you this question as a Buffalo fan.
Yeah.
Do you predicate this year's success more to how Josh Allen played or to how Sean McDermott coached?
Oh, it's definitely how Josh Allen played because he wasn't limited by Stephon Diggs wanting the ball and wanting to be, even though he was the most targeted and most successful receiver in Bills franchise history. He apparently still wanted, like, obviously everyone wants to win, but like he apparently was very selfish and ended up being that way or something like that. So I feel like Sean McDermott did a good job in, or like what I've heard in the interviews is that he's kind of been able to take a step back from having to like micromanage the team because it's now Josh Allen's team. So the whole season was a bit of, Josh Allen coming into form, truly being the leader, the guy. This is his team. There's no more questions. There's no, all pro wide receiver question. Like, are you only good because I'm here? Like, no, this guy's fucking good because he's fucking good. Like, so while I would say Sean McDermott stepped up, he seems to be more laid back and entertaining and able to, he's more fun in the press conferences. He's giving better answers. It seems like he is learning from this. It is, that he always had he was very machine-like in his conference. He seems better now. So we'll see how things go moving forward, especially now that we have some new pieces like Joey Bosa, which should be interesting.
If he can stay on the field.
Let's just keep him in bubble wrap till January, honestly. Like, I'm kind of wishing he was the one that got the suspensions. That shit was wild. I don't know how the NFL's got to look into that. Like, that's so weird.
Raj and Mike, what do y'all say to that though? Like, what do y'all think? Do y'all think Sean McDermott should still be not necessarily on the hot seat, but let's just say he in the room next to it, and depending on how this season go, he might have to sit down.
Yeah, I agree. I think with how it's been for the past few years, it's definitely in question. And I think, like you said, not on the hot seat, but in the room next to it, because Josh Allen played like we never seen that type of play in a long time. I mean, not saying that we haven't ever, but it's been a long time since we have seen that, like a quarterback carry a team like that. And for him to be as efficient as he was last season and winning the MVP award, he deserves the deal. And they got there because of his play pretty much, but I do feel like Sean McDermott definitely did the right things last season. Like, he made the right choices.
I agree.
And it made the team feel more confident in how he's coaching because he was giving them, like you said, you can see the past few seasons, he was like micromanaging. He was looking at this and looking at that and kind of like trying to control the game, but he gave them freedom. He, like, prime example, and this is very small, minute, but like the tush push or whatever you call type push type situation. It might seem like a small thing, but it's those type of things that says, okay, I trust my quarterback getting that ball over the line, and that's what it takes. It takes confidence on both sides. But if they mess up this season and they don't make it back to the AFC Championship or potentially go to the Super Bowl, he's gone. And I don't think anyone's going to second guess that because he made a lot of questionable decisions the past few seasons. So I think he's got to make the right moves to get to the Super Bowl.
I would say as long as the contract fits. Like, if it's another 13-second game, then yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
First things first, when did we change it on this show back to the AFC Championship? Until the Chiefs are knocked out, it is still the Patrick Mahomes Invitational. First and
that
foremost.
Is true. That is true.
Until they are knocked out and being in the divisional round, it is
that is true.
The Patrick Mahomes Invitational on this show. That's first.
But I have to say this though, Mike. We all got PTSD from that Super Bowl.
Because
they had Patrick Mahomes out there looking like a crash dummy.
Yo, listen, Philly watched that game against the Super Bowl with the Bucks. That's what they watched. They
Yeah,
watched that
that
Super
was
Bowl and said, "Okay, we're going to do that."
yeah.
As it pertains to McDermott, I believe that if they don't perform and get over the hump, this is it. He's definitely going to start being looked at, and that's just how sports work. You know, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing and expecting different results, and eventually, the team's going to say, "You ain't it, bro."
Well, that's what.
Even though I'm not a firm believer that it's always the head coach, but sometimes a different voice is required.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's all I was saying with it.
I agree.
After so long, it's like, man, we need a breath of fresh air. It's not you, it's us.
I totally agree with that. That's what I was afraid of when I was calling for McDermott to get fired. It's just it is a little a breath of fresh air that he did seem to have a different approach this year. That he did seem to learn from some mistakes. That he has grown a little bit. He is a little more laid back, and he's still and there were results this year. So I feel like it is a bit of a let's continue to hope and see maybe if we get to the AFC Championship game and we lose the game like 16-13 and we shut down Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen finally lays an egg, then I feel like it would be the context of everything once again. For everything, always context is huge. So I'm totally agree with you guys that on the like you got to get this has to happen. You can't let having Josh Allen be your quarterback and not get to the Super Bowl continue to be this shutout all the time in January.
You got to remember, though, in sports, it's not always context. Sometimes it's just time. He could go out and lose in the divisionals to the Chiefs by 3 again, and I would say it's time. Because it's like, how long are you gonna look good? I don't think it should be an embarrassing loss or as long as he come up short, it's time to go. We've rode this horse long enough.
Exactly. While we're on quarterbacks, we all know Pete Carroll's going to be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. We also know that they traded for Geno Smith. By the look on all 3 of your faces, I feel like this topic is short and sweet.
Yeah.
So Niraj not even ask a direct question, but everyone, wait, what happened?
I said, don't nobody give a damn about the Raiders.
Yeah, right.
Everyone just give their thought on how bad this will fail. Like the Raiders have failed pretty much. The Raiders to me are the NFL Portland Trailblazers.
Or how about this? Or the West Coast Jets.
Nah, hell nah. The Raiders got championship history. What y'all got? 1?
Yeah, that's all we need. But look,
the Namath.
Yes, Joe Namath. But look, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet when it comes down to the Las Vegas Jets. I feel bad for Geno because Geno had a great team. Geno had a great team in Seattle, and I don't know what the hell happened. Like last season was a disaster. The season before he was balling. I don't know if it's like the league kind of caught up to them.
I think or offensive line issues, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something wasn't right. Yeah, last season. I don't know what happened.
He had some injuries. They had offensive line issues. So it was a multitude of things. But Geno still relatively had a good year stat-wise. He balled.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He did great. I know he killed it on a fantasy tip, but when it comes down to like his actual win percentages and stuff like that, it was hard. It was horrible last season. But I want to say this: I feel bad for him because I don't know what the Raiders have over there. They don't have any wide receivers. Their offensive line is still not going to be good. Their defense is probably the only thing that's actually holding them up. So I don't think it's going to be a good look next season. So that's my take on it.
Like I'm not sure the wide receivers are, but it's Brock Bowers over there.
Oh yeah, you do have Brock Bowers.
You got Brock Bowers over there, and you got Pete Carroll, and you got Tom Brady. Two ultra competitors. Two ultra competitors that don't want to lose.
Brady was involved.
I forgot too.
This is definitely gonna be a rebuild situation. But I think they're looking at Geno Smith. They know that they're not gonna be high enough to really try to get a quarterback. This not a quarterback deep draft. I think Shador and Ward will be gone. I think it's a third one that they mentioning.
Yeah, Dart.
Yeah, Dart. Climbing up the ranks out of nowhere as it always is when it come around draft time. But I think they're gonna try to ride Geno for maybe the next 2-3 seasons, see what they can build through the draft. We know that Pete Carroll's been a winner everywhere he's been. He knows how to build a team. He definitely knows how to build a defense. I just say let's see what happens.
Yeah.
He knows how to piss off Jim Harbaugh.
Nah, that's true.
And not get a ball to Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah. Know how to throw a championship away, a Super Bowl away.
Yeah.
Hey, that's probably how he got the job with Tom Brady being involved.
Like, I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that. He said, I owe you one, man. You gave me my what was it? Sixth ring?
The six, I think that was number 6.
Yeah. He's like, I owe you one. I'll get you a job.
No, it was like 4. That came before his Tampa Bay, the Rams, and Falcons.
Oh, okay.
No, that wouldn't be for the Falcons.
Yeah, it was.
It was?
Definitely.
Yeah, it was.
That was like 2014, 2015. And then Falcons were 2017.
It might have been.
You know.
Yeah, we getting old.
Yeah, we getting old.
So, also, this week, there was a lot of wide receiver movement. And actually, no, wait, we're not going to go there yet. Sam Darnold is where we're going to go. Sam Darnold went to Seattle once DK Metcalf was traded to the Steelers. He went there for 3 years, I believe $100 million. And then, so then it was like, okay, what's there? And then Cooper Kupp was released by the Rams, who they went out and then signed Devontae Adams for 2 years, $46 million. And then Kupp went to Seattle. That was my way of covering 4 topics under one roof. So
good shit.
That was good.
So my question is for you guys: what are your thoughts on Darnold to Seattle? Okay, does Cooper Kupp help them in that situation given his injury status? And will Devontae Adams also help the Rams, as they did retain Matthew Stafford? I don't think we talked about that, but that wasn't in the notes. But they did retain Matthew Stafford and damn near almost beat Philly in the playoffs. Does that help them stay where they need to be as well?
I'll go quickly. I'm not going to be long, guys. I love the moves that they made. When it comes down to the Rams, I like that they worked out their differences, and hopefully, Matt Stafford's wife can keep her mouth shut and stop being on these podcasts talking crazy. Because I think that almost killed the deal, by the way, guys. I think, yeah, we ain't gonna go there, but yeah, the backups too. Leave them alone. But yeah, I think it gives Matt Stafford an opportunity to get back to the NFC Championship and potentially get to the Super Bowl because they weren't that far. There was the only team that really gave the Eagles comp, in my opinion. And I think at this point, with added Devontae Adams, as much as I hate to admit it, I think you still got some in the tank. I think he still can go out there and put up some crazy numbers. Probably not every single night, but he's going to help Puka Nacua out a lot. But as far as this situation in Seattle with Cooper Kupp going there, and then of course you got Sam Darnold. We'll see. We'll see what happens because Sam Darnold had a great regular season, and he had a lot of highlight moments. But once he got to the playoffs, he just crapped the bed, and I kind of expected that because I watched this guy play for a few years with the Jets, so I already knew what it was. It was fake money.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead, R&B, if you had something.
No, I was just gonna say he crapped the bed at the end of the season and going into the playoffs. They should have celebrated the way they did that week before they played the Lions when they had this whole little water champagne celebration and the shit. That shit was definitely too early.
It was even talking about MVP talks. I'm like, whoa.
Man, yeah. And then outside of that, I agree with Raj. I think that the combination of Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, that's pick your poison right there, man. Because
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it. I still think Devontae Adams, if not number one, he's a top 3 route runner in the NFL. Still, dude is uncoverable. So it's pick your poison. Who you gonna double? Either you gonna get beat up by Puka or you gonna get beat out by Devontae. And so as long as Stafford can stay healthy and that defense can look as good as take another leap like they took a leap this year as a young defense, the Rams will be right there, man, as a scary team. And because I personally think Philly's gonna take a step back. If you guys haven't looked at some of the pieces that they've been losing in free agency, some of the moves that's been made with them, I think Philly's going to take a step back, and that's going to open the door wide open for the Rams to come in and potentially be like one of those top teams again this year with that combination. But outside of that, Sam Darnold going to the fucking Seahawks, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens because Cooper Kupp, it ain't like we talking about a Cooper Kupp that's been healthy. Like, dude been banged up and injured damn near every year since they've won the Super Bowl. So I understand why the Rams were ready to, cut ties with him. So we'll see. We'll see how this shit go, man.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I look at when you look at everything in totality, you look at what you call it. You look at Darnold going to Seattle. Really, that's contingent on Cooper Kupp's ability to stay healthy, right? Because what else is really there? Lockett's gone, Metcalf is gone.
I don't even think it. Even if Cooper do stay healthy, they still that's a rebuild.
Yeah,
so he went there because he knew he wanted his bag. Like, let's be honest, he wanted the money. They threw $100 million at him. He took it. Like it hit while the iron's hot because now you can go somewhere else making less money, and then you factory reset again to Jet Sam Darnold, and then here we go.
He blew all that money up.
Yeah. You I take Dennis Schroeder as a perfect example. When the Lakers offered him that money, he ain't take it, bet on himself, and ended up with $5 million.
Yep.
So you have that. Then when I look at Adams going to the Rams, this is a big deal because now the Rams were still in a position last year to do real good things, and had they not spent most of their most of the year, one of them out or both of them at times.
Yeah.
The Rams still played good football. They still won 10 games. They still went to the playoffs, and they still almost beat the eventual Super Bowl champions. Like they were going down the field, and I remember, I think we were messaging during that game. I'm like, what's going on here? I was like, the Rams is looking like they about to take this, and we're gonna get the funkiest NFC championship no one expected. Because that's the way it was looking. And then when you talk about so when you look at all that, I do believe that the Rams are still in the upper echelon. They're just going to be looked at under, obviously Philly. Jesus, lost my train of thought. Obviously,
I disagree with you there, Mike. I think it'll start out that way, but I'm telling you, I think about toward the halfway point of the season, I think a lot of us are going to be saying that the Rams are better than Philly, man. Mark my words.
I'm not
saying Philly's going to be as good.
Well, they've lost some pieces. I was looking at some of the stuff that they did lose, because we know how it goes. You win a Super Bowl, you lose players. That's just really how it goes. A lot of players say, I got what I needed. Peace. I got
They
this
also
part.
made that move to part ways with Darius Slay because they thought it was going to open up cap space for them to make a trade for Myles Garrett. But then Myles Garrett, while y'all talking shit about Aaron Rodgers holding the league up, this dude did a whole 360 and got paid, and that frown turned to a smile. So I'm pretty sure that pissed some teams off too that were, trying to see if they can make a move for him. So
absolutely, because he's another diva. He's another diva in the league on that side of the ball. Like, bro, I mean, the only difference is I don't see him on Pat McAfee every week. So we will. Yeah, I don't see you on Pat McAfee every week, but I do see
he's
the
not a
fraudulent.
bad man.
Yeah, he's got a bad something, and it ain't on the football field no more.
A bad arm.
Another thing that happened this week, is that I seen a post that D-Hop put up a few years ago that said, how many touchdowns would this trio get? It was a picture of himself, Lamar Jackson, and Derrick Henry. And now DeAndre Hopkins has left Kansas City to go to Baltimore.
Oh, man.
1 year, I think it was $6 million that he signed for. I don't know if this does anything for Baltimore. I really don't. You add last season, they added on Henry. Obviously, he came in and made an impact, because after John Harbaugh said, well, we didn't bring him here to have 30 touches a game. You're giving him 12, 15. That ain't who he is. You got to give him touches. And then once he let him go loose, he's off to the races. The Ravens were kicking some ass, doing what they do. We know Zay Flowers has stepped up as a top-tier receiver and an option. Obviously, Ravens fans don't like Mark Andrews that much these days. But he's still there, but likely has stepped up as a good option for Lamar. But to me, if Hopkins couldn't do much for Kansas City to help push the needle, do you guys really think he can do anything for Baltimore to help them push the needle to get to where they're trying to go as well?
No.
I do.
Oh, please elaborate.
I think the reason he wasn't able to push the needle for the Chiefs per se is because of the style of play. Now, if that was a young D Hop that went to Kansas City, it would have been a perfect fit. But he not young D Hop no more. He's more short yardage, possession. That's more his wheelhouse now. He's older. He's not the same. He's still good, just not D Hop. You know what I'm saying? He's DeAndre Hopkins. So why I say that, I feel like in Baltimore, I'm not necessarily saying that it's gonna just like push the needle to the red level or put them over the top, because I feel like they already have a team that's over the top. They just not getting it done. I think it'll just be another valuable underneath option for him. You got Zay Flowers to take the top off. You got Bateman who can take the top off. Now you still got Andrews there. You still got Likely. Likely can take the top off in the red zone. So I think that adding somebody like a DeAndre Hopkins now gives you just another weapon that's a sure-handed, short yardage possession guy that can go out and make plays for you. And I think that's something that they've been missing, is like that third receiver that could really, you know what I'm saying, make plays underneath and get those tough catches underneath. And I think if nothing else, D-Hop has shown, though he had some drops in the Super Bowl throughout his tenure with Kansas last year, he showed that he can still do that at a high level. So I think it does kind of move the needle. Not crazy, but it's just another benefit to help out a team that should be getting it done and has not gotten it done.
That's the thing, though. Like they didn't get it done in January, and neither did D-Hop. They didn't really show up in January at all. Like, we're just moving one player that doesn't do things in January to another.
Yeah.
Like, it can affect in the regular season. Don't get me wrong, but that's just that's what the Ravens are. Like, Lamar Jackson is still yet to beat a team in the playoffs that has scored more than 14 points.
That's actually a valid point too, because I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, yes, regular season, dominate. You know, they dominate the regular season. It was scary to match up against, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. But let's keep it real. When it comes down to the playoffs, it's a whole different ball game. And on top of that, in my opinion, D-Hop looked washed. He looked washed. I think it's time for him to retire, because even when he caught the ball, it was like he wasn't going anywhere. So it's a type situation where it's like, okay, let's see what they do in the playoffs. But I don't have no expectations for him. I think the AFC is loaded. I think they're going to get better. And it sounds cruel, but I think the Ravens' windows have closed, because you got to remember, Cincinnati's coming again. You got the Buffalo Bills clicking. You got teams like Miami that's going to be doing their thing.
Oh my goodness!
I got faith. I got faith in Miami.
Yeah, Miami. They're all the way.
Did he mention Miami?
Yes.
And who name that list again? Name that list again.
I said Cincinnati, Buffalo, Miami. Right. There's a few AFC teams you can't sleep on. I was going to mention Pittsburgh.
Really?
I didn't say they're going to win. I didn't say they're going to win the championship. I'm saying they're teams that can beat the Ravens. Like a regular season. I'm talking regular season, guys.
Over Ravens, no. I'm not taking Miami over the Ravens.
I'm not either.
Miami hasn't beaten a winning team since in over a year. It was the Cowboys who lost the 7th seed. Like,
but if you catch them during the home stint,
the Bengals either. Not this. I'm not taking the Bengals either. Not this presently constructed as we see going forward. Bengals team that's about to try to bank on they about to try to bank on a trio of a quarterback and 2 receivers with no running game, no offensive line, and no defense.
Literally,
okay. I'll give you that. I think they're missing. I think they're missing the offensive line and defense. But they can outscore the Buffalo. They can outscore the Ravens. They can outscore the Ravens, though.
They didn't do it last year.
I think what's his name was hurt. I think Macaulay Culkin was hurt.
No, Joe Burrow played that
year. He played in that game. That was a good ass game. He played in that game against Baltimore. He said Macaulay Culkin.
He played. They stayed in 2 games. They lost both.
I'm talking. No,
Yo, bro, real quick. If the Bengals ain't careful and they let Jamar Chase and they let T. Higgins walk, Macaulay Culkin really gonna be home alone in Cincinnati.
It's rumored.
Yo,
That's why I said though, because it's rumored that they're apparently planning to pay make Jamar Chase the highest
I saw that.
in the league.
As they should.
Is scheduled to get around 27 to 30 million per year, and
as they should.
Locked up. And we already know that Hendrickson, they've given him permission to seek a trade because he's axed out. So that's your best defender. He one of the best defensive ends in the league the past 3 seasons, and he wants out, and you virtually about to let him walk away. I understand why though, because it's like, why should we give you all this money to still be a suck ass defense as good as you are? You can't do it all by yourself, so we might as well rebuild. But this is the team that we're talking about. Like, I'm putting them over the Ravens, but I can't, man. I'm sorry. I think that's foolish. You got me with Buffalo.
Okay.
I can't remember who else you named, but
I mentioned Miami
and Cincinnati specifically. No.
I think okay, and this is my opinion. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I feel like with those teams, it depends on history of health. Like if you look at the history of health, right? Okay, Joe Burrow was not healthy last season. I don't care what nobody say. He was not healthy last season. If he's healthy this season with the weapons he got, they can beat Baltimore. Same applies with Miami. Now I know what we always say during the regular season, even during the nice games in the beginning of the season, they're killing it. But then towards the end of the season, it gets cold. They go in the cold weather stadiums and they lose. I get that, but also keep in mind, Tua was not healthy. He was not healthy.
Not going to stay healthy.
I think he's going to stay healthy this year. And I'm not a Tua apologist. I'm just hoping that he stays healthy this season. And I just want to see them compete.
The hit that you want to, but the hit that knocked him out against the Bills was so normal. It was he's not the guy. I'm sorry. Like Tua is great, but there was a reason I was excited when they extended him.
Yeah, now I hear you, but I feel if they figure out a way to protect him a little bit more, he's gonna put up the numbers that he did.
They basically
a couple years ago.
He just lost. That's right. He was on the no. So that was basically 2 years ago. Like he went the whole year. He was healthy the whole time. He had Tyreek hit. Like he had that was 2 years ago was basically as good as it got. And they didn't even win the division. And then they lost Christian Wilkins since then. Tyreek Hill sounds like he wants out. Like he's also 2 years older with 5 more kids. Like
damn. Oh shit! That was good. You're right though. Oh man, he got all these baby mamas too. I take that. I rescind that whole entire take back. I'm sorry, I forgot. I forgot he had 3 kids last year. Oh man.
Literally, they lost Christian. They lost some of their best defenders. They haven't really brought anyone in. Like I don't see it for Miami. I could see it a little more because they got Jamar and T are still in their prime. Although we'll see what happens with T because I would be annoyed as shit to be franchised 2 years in a row.
That's crazy.
But
it's rumored that they gonna try to get him and Jamar both signed during this season.
They need to.
They want to get Jamar Chase signed this offseason, and T. Higgins, I think they're supposed to be working on his contract throughout this up and coming season to try to get it extended.
They would have saved money if they took their first offer from the beginning because they've waited so long. The market's only exploded more, and it's only hurt them more.
And it's more money on the table.
Literally. But in the AFC, In the AFC, it should be the 4 teams that have made the AFC division round the past 2 years. It's the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, the Texans.
Right. All right.
And sometimes we just have to know, man. Look, sometimes teams are who they are, and what I mean when I say that is, you know how we see these teams sometimes they good consistently, or they might have a little bit of a banged up year where they not as good, and you got the injuries, but they can put up a bunch of points, but they never win anything. That's kind
Yeah.
of what I look at that's what I see when I see the Miami Dolphins. That's what I see when I see the Bengals. Though I think the Bengals could overcome that, it's just them getting in their own way. Sometimes these teams that's just who they are. They have talent, they can put up points, but that's all they can do. They can't win. Or they'll
Yeah.
have talent and they can have a stout defense, but they can't put up points and they can't win. Sometimes these teams are just what they are. And that's sports.
True.
That's why it's fun to watch.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Phoenix Suns with Mike
Yeah.
D'Antoni earlier. Great offense. Exciting as fuck to watch back in the day. But
Just can't get over the hump.
couldn't get over the hump because couldn't play a lick of defense.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to hear none of that shit about Bruce Bowen, Steve Nash into the table. They weren't gonna win that series regardless. They weren't gonna win that goddamn shit.
But you gotta admit that was dirty.
I don't give a damn. They weren't gonna win that.
Oh man.
What happened, man?
All right, guys.
Yeah.
So,
Damn, Mike Perham, where'd you go?
let's just say, nature called. Just
Yeah.
leave it at that. I tried to get the camera off, but it just was time, whether I wanted it to or
Let's
not.
go.
So, all right. So now, right about at that mark, guys. One thing I did want to mention quick was, or 2 things that are on the list here is, where are you going? You got more plans than me. 2 things I wanted to mention was Chris Godwin did re-sign with the Bucks for 3 years, $66 million. And Najee Harris signed with the Chargers for 1 year, I believe $10 million. During the course of
How old is Chris Godwin now?
Say that again?
How old is Chris Godwin now?
I don't know.
About 28 to 31 range.
That's what I feel. That's fair.
Let's see. I'm looking it up now. Chris Godwin is hold on, 29.
Yeah.
Not bad.
29 years old, doing hopefully he can stay a little healthier, because we know that's been an issue with him, is his health. I believe did he get hurt this year? Did he tear his ACL or
I think it was Mike Evans that got hurt.
Yeah, Mike Evans was hurt, and then he was hurt a lot of games, and then still somehow got that.
Chris Godwin did tear his ACL. He did tear his ACL this year.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Mike Evans was hurt as well, but then somehow magically broke that record or tied that, got that 1,000 yards. I don't know how that happened, but
because he's really good.
He had the 1,000 before he got hurt.
No, they needed to literally
he got hurt.
He got it week 17, and they literally had to do a kind of garbage time.
Yeah, he got it because he got hurt early, like week 3 or 4. He was out a lot of weeks. Came back like week 9.
When that got hurt. Okay, all right. That was
no.
Okay,
I was talking about Evans, how he got hurt, but yeah, he still was able to get the record, or I think he tied it for most 1,000-yard seasons with Jerry Rice.
1,000-yard seasons, yeah.
So
they really had to squeeze it in there in that last game, but he was injured, so it made it okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were like, nah, bro, you getting this.
Let's get this shit for you. Yeah,
we,
like that's cool.
we need some highlight this season. You
I
getting
was happy.
this.
They made the playoffs.
That's true.
Yeah, they
That's
made
true. They
the Bucks were a
did make the
solid.
playoffs.
The Bucks were a solid good team.
I mean, it helps they're in that absolute ass division, but whatever.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think they need some help in the running game. If they could get a stronger running game, I think that would definitely help them out immensely. Where you don't have to, even though Baker been playing some good football for them, you know
Bruce
what I'm
Irving
saying?
did
I
well,
don't like these
right?
games. Huh? Who?
Bruce Irving, didn't he play well?
Bruce Irving?
Oh,
played-
Bucky Irving. Yeah.
Fuck here, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He
He
played
did.
all right.
Yeah, nah,
He did good. He did.
It's something missing, man. There's
Yeah.
something missing with that Bucks team because they definitely should be better than what they showed.
Looking at it, thinking about it on paper, you're right. Like they do have they got somebody at every position. It feels like they got somebody on. They got the decent offensive line. They got receivers. They got Kate Otten's decent tight end. Bucky Irving, Vita Vea, and the defensive tackle. Murphy Bunting's still there, or did he move on?
Yep, he's still there.
Yeah, they should be better.
absolutely. Well, hopefully they
Might
can.
be one of those McDermott Todd Bowles. Time for Todd. Time wearing out Todd.
Well, Todd got one, no? Or no, that was Arians. That's right.
That was it. Bruce Arians. Todd was the defensive coordinator.
We still got to bring that, right?
Yeah.
Listen, as long as they get one, that's what they're looking at.
I feel that.
Well, guys, we're at that mark. I got to hop on the Honest Hour here in about 20 minutes.
Hell yeah.
So check out Honest Hour this week. Brandon's actually going to be on the show with me this week. They just actually confirmed that with me. They're getting that all together. So that'll air on Tuesday on the COC network.
Very excited.
Yes, sir. And then we'll be back next week with another episode. Probably an afternoon episode, I believe. So we'll be back next week, probably like 1 p.m. And that's it. I'll leave it to you gentlemen to close out the show.
All righty.
Real quick, I'm gonna just say, go Pistons. We lost to OKC last night. Fuck those referees. They fucked us.
Fuck the refs.
Real good. Yeah, fuck the refs, man. I'm with JB Bickerstaff. That was some bullshit last night watching that game. I was pissed watching that game, but we still playing good ball. I'm glad to see a resurgence of my Detroit Pistons, baby. And another thing I'm gonna say, hey man, if y'all ain't been checking out some of these college games that's been on, U of M yesterday, Michigan State lost, but hey man, it's tourney time, March Madness. Let's get it. Let's get it.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Everyone be safe. Have a good week, and we will see you next week. Peace.